Hey y'all, I'm your host, Aaron Smith of the Offshore Marine Service Association. Each Friday, I'll bring you the Offshore Briefing, a quick rundown of the week's notable developments, updates, and news you need to know in the offshore space. Whether you're on deck or at your desk, we're glad you're here. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Offshore Briefing on Maritime in America. As always, I'm your host, Aaron Smith, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Ashley and Angel. How are y'all doing?
Just great. I'm admiring your podcast voice. You really have that down.
I'm doing well. I hope y'all can hear me. I feel like last episode, my voice wasn't really loud.
Oh, no.
Maybe I should be less loud and you should be more. We can meet in the middle some.
Well, no, y'all are fine. I just naturally have a low speaking voice.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I should give you a little more of me.
Well, I appreciate you complimenting my voice instead of you saying that I have a face for audio podcasts.
You do have a face for audio podcast, 100%.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be coming.
Yeah, 100%. But I've already said that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and hey, it's finally down here in New Orleans. It's finally starting to turn a little bit cooler and rainy. It's kind of a moody day outside. And so Ashley is wearing her 41 North
hoodie.
Yes.
Shout out. Send me some more. I love a good hoodie.
With the good guys up in New Bedford. So, one thing that I saw this week that I was very unhappy. I spent some time over in southern Mississippi this week with our friend Congressman Mike Ezel, and got the word that Valenti is leaving his office.
No.
Yes, she is.
Well, I mean, good for her.
Exactly.
Bad for him. She's just such an awesome human being.
Exactly. And that's what happens with congressional staff, is that if you have good ones,
they get poached.
And they move. And so she's going to her home state. She's originally from Tampa area in Florida. And the new senator for Florida, Ashley Moody, has hired her as senior policy advisor. So actually, today we're recording on Thursday, as we usually do, and today is her last day in Congressman Ezel's office. So,
and Bia, for those listening that came with us to D.C., she spoke in the congressional panel. Not only is she beautiful and brilliant, she's funny. She's just all around awesome.
Naval Reserve.
I mean, she just is a cool chick.
Yeah. So congrats to her, but it's certainly a loss for us in the offshore world. So that was one thing I saw. Talked with Chairman Ezel and Chief of Staff Joe, and they were talking about how like you said, you want people that can get poached, and then you.
It's so weird. No one's poached me. And I've been at ALMSA for 13 years.
13 years.
Strange.
Yes. So the other thing that I saw, and I look at this, it comes out once a quarter. The Dallas Fed, the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, comes out with a quarterly survey of oil industry folks. And so I was reading through that this week, and it'll be in Friday Fast Facts, the full results. But the survey is kind of interesting in that participants can and do post their own thoughts, and it's all anonymous. And so you get very honest responses. And one in there that I saw, I thought was really good. And I think it's important for all of us to remember. And it was, and I'm quoting here, "Day-to-day changes in energy policy is no way for us to win as a country. Investors rightly avoid investing in energy of all types now because of the volatility and underlying business results as a result of the stroke of a pen risk that the federal government wields as it relates to long-duration energy developments. Life is long, and the sword being wielded against the renewable industry right now will likely boomerang back in 3.5 years against traditional energy, which will find itself facing harsher methane penalties, permitting restrictions, crazy environmental reviews, and other lawfare tactics." I really like that quote, and I think it's very accurate to think about. When you have a lease from the federal government, that is a contract with the federal government. And when they break that contract, it hurts all investment. And so any sort of people who are trying to cheer what has happened to offshore wind. I know no one in our industry is, because that's a great source of work for our vessels. Would like to see less Chinese-built vessels and more U.S. vessels, but the offshore wind industry is still a great source for U.S. vessels. But when those leases are canceled arbitrarily, not only do those vessels working on that project stop working, but it endangers other oil and gas vessels who could be facing the same tactics 3 years from now. So, I just think that's an important thing to remember. A political host that I always listen to always talks about the pendulum of American public policy and how it swings back and forth, and it usually swings crazily from one side to the other. And we in oil and gas should all remember that and think about what's going to happen in the future. So that was one thing I saw, and like we always talk about, we always put these articles in Friday Fast Facts. And so hope all of our AMSA members are reading those. And if you're not,
Nate Gilman.
he reached out.
He did reach out. I was super excited about that.
Yes. Thank you, Nate. So if you are not receiving Friday Fast Facts, please become a member of AMSA so you can come and get these tips and not get called out on the podcast.
Right, great. And I'd just like to add, because Angel and I love to talk about our cats. We are both cat ladies. Hashtag
crazy
Taylor
cat
Swift.
ladies.
And I'm okay with it. I just want to remind everyone to adopt. There are so many kittens out there, and I wish I could adopt them all, but I am
Both
maxed out.
Are adopted. Oh, so since you said that, I do have a funny story. Because I don't know if you've all heard of the cat distribution system.
Yes, I wish that it would find me all the time, and it never does.
It's very real. There are 2 separate instances where cats just showed up at my door, and one of them specifically came to my door and just was meowing there because before I fed it, and so it thinks it's home. But like, I already have 2 cats. So
I think you need a third.
no,
I like things
it's
on
okay.
odd numbers. 3 is great.
2's good.
Well, I tend to find animals. I found a chicken. We had that sucker for about 2 years.
That was horrible.
Both these cats wound up. These kittens wound up. What else? We found a turtle that we kept for a while too. Don't know what happened to that thing.
No.
So the animal distribution finds me. Anyway, that was my little plug, is to adopt, because there's so many kittens. Specifically, shout out to Zeus's Rescue on Napoleon. They're the best.
This actually kind of is a offshore related thing, because I think in every shipyard
there's kittens and cats, right?
I always see cats.
In fact, a lovely member, I will not mention him, told me, why did I spend $300 on a rescue kitten when I could have just gone to his shipyard and found 10? And I was...
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway.
Wait, one more. There was one at the golf course.
Yes, there was. And I went back to adopt it and it was gone. But that was a mangy one. Something was wrong with that one.
Yeah.
But I would have still kept it.
The way you use the word adopt, I don't think you know the meaning of this word. Adopt.
I was going to steal it.
Yes.
But they said that people drop the cats off there. And remember, I named it Cheese because I kept feeding it cheese. Good stories.
That was from one of our golf tournament.
That was last year's golf tournament. That will happen again November 7th this year. Thanks, Angel, for the shout out. And maybe the cat will still be there and I can take it home.
Well,
see, it all comes full circle.
That is why I didn't think you'd be able to land this plane, but good job. Well, this has been another episode of the Offshore Briefing with some useful news. And, we again urge everyone to tune in and adopt. And if you are a AMSA member, please look for some of these stories in Friday Fast Facts this week. If you are not an AMSA member, please sign up so you can receive the useful portion of these stories in Friday Fast Facts. Thank you, everyone, and be safe.
Have a good weekend.
Happy Friday.
That wraps up another episode of Maritime in America. We're proud to highlight the voices and stories that keep the American offshore industry strong. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, and remember, the course ahead is shaped by those who step up and steer it. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Tune in every Friday for your offshore briefing, and don't miss our next full episode, dropping soon with the very special guest's mariner's perspective. Catch you next time.